Hello, Camille here with my gut house. It is day 2, and this video is going to be more like a journal entry because there was nothing video worthy today. We actually got like barely anything done today. Even like yesterday, we got barely anything done because it took us 8 freaking hours to put a door in. And today was even less productive. But we planned to start with the toilet, but then we realized we should check the water first because the water is still not on. So we went to the kitchen sink to put the P-trap on so we could test that. Fast forward, we think that the drain is plugged. So we did not put a P-trap on. We ended up just putting a bucket under that. And then my dad slowly, just barely turned the water on, just barely. And we listened for leaks anywhere. And the faucet in the bathtub upstairs is going. And I had gloves on, so I wasn't afraid of touching that nastiness. But so I tried turning the knobs both directions, and it did not shut off. So obviously I just had my dad turn the water back off. And the faucet in the bathroom sink was just dripping, just barely dripping. So we ended up deciding to call the family friend retired master plumber. He's technically retired, but he still does a little bit of work. So we ended up calling him for opinions mainly. And so we showed him around what stuff looked like, what the plans were and different stuff. And he had said that this is plugged. So this is what goes up to the kitchen sink. And there's actually a piece, couple pieces that go through this sort of thing up through the wall. And then so he's able to knock on this and it sounds like it's full. So my dad and our plan was to pull this clean out off and try to clean that. So my dad has a 25-foot drain snake that is only a 1/4 inch cable. And so we put that in there and it did nothing. So we ended up deciding to go to Acme to rent a 50-foot drain auger that has a 3/8 inch cable to hope that is a little bit bigger and actually can get through there. In the meantime, let's go back to the other stuff because we told the plumber to do a couple of things for us. So he got a cap on that, and over here he made the supply line just a little bit longer so that it's at the height of what those normally would. And this is a little bit long because we planned to leave it a little bit long for if I ever decide to finish this place ever. And then so he also just mounted the toilet for us. So that was nice of him. And then upstairs, so turns out that in this panel here, there are shutoffs here, but my dad had to go and get a wrench because they wouldn't turn any farther. And we were planning for the ideas just in case that didn't work. And hey, yeah, a wrench got those. That is all nice and good. So in the bathroom here, he ended up taking the top off, or the plumber guy ended up taking the top off the sink so that it was easier accessible because these shutoffs obviously didn't do anything because they were fully shut off and that faucet was still leaking. So he just put caps on both of these. I think this one he said was leaking worse, which would make sense because the hot water isn't on. The hot water heater isn't on. And then, yeah, so he shut off. He was able to turn this to get this shut off because this was leaking. We even found that it was leaking down here a little bit. So he did that while my dad and I were down here getting all nasty. So 50-foot drain auger from Acme now. We got 5 feet into that thing. So yeah, and obviously made a little bit of mess that we're not going to worry about until a different day. And the stool is here because we were going to run, there's a hose bib on the outside of the house there. So we were going to run a garden hose into the house so that we would have water to put through there. But we didn't get to that point, so we had to close back up the window. But so yeah, we returned that. And after a few more swear words, we decided just to call a plumber to snake the drain. Because our plumber friend earlier, he said he does not even drain snake his own house. He just refuses to do that, I guess. So yeah, I ended up calling Roto-Rooter and left a voicemail. And actually, while trying to video this, he called me back to say that he is available noon to 1 on Thursday. So I mean, whatever. I wish it could have been a little bit sooner, but it's whatever. My brain is just, I'm just so brain dead. I can't even think. My mom asked my dad and I earlier what our plans to do on Thursday are because my brother has Thursdays off and he can help us. I got no clue. Thursday is way too far away. But, let's see. After we finished this up, though, and my dad was going to try and wash his hands, we still have the bucket in the sink up there, right? So my dad starts washing his hands up there, and then my brother points out that it is dripping. The hot water is dripping. How is the hot water dripping? Because the hot water heater is off. Well, the hot water is dripping. So I put the bucket right here. But we're thinking that because there's no water in the line, so somehow the water came back into the line when my dad was washing his hands. So yeah, I'm going to have to call this company back. Hopefully they warranty their work. And my mom and my brother mowed grass in the backyard and the front yard because it was very long. So that was it. That was our entire day. All right. Hopefully we get more done tomorrow. Bye.